Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Scumbags movie podcast. My name's Seth.
My name is Nick.
Episode 154. What's going on, brother?
We're still here. We're still doing it.
Is this like a month in a row of consistent uploads?
Yeah, so far. Well, perhaps 2 months since we were by.
You ever think...
I already know where you're going.
You know how people are always like, seize the moment?
No.
I don't fucking know.
I can't think so well. You know, like a moment seizes us.
Death threats, May. Death threats.
Can they go a fucking episode without talking about Boyhood?
You know what's next? My fucking funeral.
Oh my god, don't even start.
Oh, I watched that film last night, and we've been talking about it for 7 years, and we're going to keep talking about it because, God, that movie is amazing.
Yes.
It's like a new experience every time.
If you're a fan of this channel and this podcast, well, you're going to have to get the fuck over it because we're going to talk about Boyhood for the rest of this program.
We've got some whores coming by later.
All right, today's episode, a Boyhood introspective. We're going to talk about every frame, every second, and you're going to love it.
God, that would be awesome. A total breakdown of Boyhood. We should do an episode like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, imagine we put a different title over it, like Mel Gibson retrospective, and then just be like, just kidding, we're going to talk about Boyhood.
Like, really get in depth, you know, every sequence broken down, the acting analyzed, and there's a lot to analyze.
Ooh, there is. Like, you ever wonder how the moment seizes us?
Real talk, though, we aren't doing that today. We are going to do what the episode title says. Mel Gibson retrospective. I don't know why. He doesn't have a movie coming out or anything, but we just like Mel.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, big fan of Mel.
And if you don't like him, you can go fuck yourself.
If you don't like Mel, this is not the episode for you. It's been a while since we've done any retrospectives. We've done quite a few in the past. I'm privy to the Corey Feldman choreography episode myself.
Well, somebody has to be. It has gotten some pretty good views.
Yeah, it's one of the most highest performing YouTube podcasts for sure.
Well, that's because we profited off his downfall.
I know, the people in the comments ripping into us for making fun of his sexual assault.
Yeah, not great. But hey, Mel is a how should I say, a damaged individual who's had his fair share of issues.
He has.
But we're going to celebrate him despite that.
Yeah. We're fans of the artist Mel Gibson. So that's today's topic. We'll kind of get into that here in a little bit.
We do have some other things to talk about, though.
Yeah.
Everything about that disturbed me to my core.
Daddy.
Oh, Daddy, my baby.
I'm drinking a
Nobody asked.
large Dunkin' iced coffee with oat milk and a sugar-free blueberry shot.
You want to tell the people how you've gained this meditative state over the past 13 hours?
Yeah, well, I watched Fubar and it inspired me. No,
That'll make everyone question their life.
I'm taking a new approach to healthy living with meditation and healthy eating.
You guys ever heard of carrots and kale?
It's my new favorite stuff. So, trying a little new approach here. Don't need all the sugar and sodium in my life. So, normally I'd go out on a Saturday morning and get like a sugary macchiato or something just fattening and full of cream. I'm going for a oat milk approach.
That's good. Ugh. Do you drink milk, or do you don't do almond milk, right?
No, I like almond milk. I don't really like it in coffee. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's kind of, it's kind of watery. Takes away from the coffee for me. But like that, you ever had like that chocolate or that dark chocolate almond milk from Soak?
I don't think so. No, I've just had regular.
Shit,
Is it
bro.
good?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Like, you could buy that and, like, if you had a sweet tooth and you wanted a dessert or something, you just have a little cup of that. It's fire.
Yeah. Well, I've always been an advocate for not drinking cow milk.
Oh, you don't like some bloody, pissy, pussy...
No, it's disgusting. And if anybody knew what it looked like before it was pasteurized, then I don't think they would either. It's not meant for human consumption.
Welcome to the Slacker Media Slim Good Body Health and Nutrition Podcast.
Welcome to PETA. Slacker Media PETA.
Milk is kind of gross, though. Like, I know these... I've known a couple people in my life, like, where their families will... Like, it's tradition to everyone has a glass of milk with dinner. And it's like, I don't want a glass of milk.
Well, I mean, just watch any old movie, like A Christmas Story, where they drink some milk. People tell me they drink a glass of milk, and I just want to...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And if I am drinking milk, it's got to be, like, skim. I don't want it all thick and, like...
Hell no.
Buttery.
There's no There's no percentages in my milk.
Yeah. Well, now that we got our health talk out of the way.
Yeah, it was short-lived, of course.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what frozen pizza I want to eat tonight, actually.
Ooh, same. Red Baron?
Just moderation. Oh, no, I can't afford that. It's Kroger off-brand.
What do you mean? Sometimes they're on sale for $2 or $3.
That's pretty good. That's about what I pay.
Yeah, you got to find it for that price, though.
That's pretty good. Ooh. Moderation. I don't need to eat the whole pizza, just half of it.
Yeah, unless it's a thin crust from Red Baron, then I can suck the whole thing down.
Yeah, I could fucking eat 2 of those pizzas, man, if you had them in front of me.
Oh man, so good.
Oh, what's been up with you, brother?
Oh, just nothing new. Same old, same old.
Watching any films lately?
Yeah, well, I did watch a few Mel films to catch up for this little cast.
Glad you did.
Yeah, well, I do everything around here.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I've watched a few things. A couple things that my father Seth has suggested or watched in the past. First thing, we watched this together, American Movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
A documentary about one autistic man's journey to make a movie.
Love Mark Borchardt.
Actually, he's probably the smartest person in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's very knowledgeable. He's just delusional.
Yeah, he doesn't have the means. Like, you can ask your mom and your friends to do it, but if they're not into it and they're not as talented, you're going to suffer. But I found it really entertaining. I mean, I don't know if it's because there was somebody else watching it with me, but I was laughing out loud a ton.
No, it's funny. I mean, that's how I was when I watched it alone. But
it's almost like watching an episode of The Office, but it's real. Just the timing of everything, and
yeah,
it's very unique, and a lot of it works really well. And by the end of the movie, you're kind of on the side of Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's a likable guy. It's not it's not like he's some dirtbag that I mean, you're rooting for him, but it's so out there.
It's just there's really no conflict to it. It's just kind of watching the guy try and make a movie, and yeah, it's.
I think the best part of that is when they try and get the uncle to recite his lines out in the car.
Yeah, maybe that's the big conflict of the movie. Yeah. I can't. And then
Jesus told me so.
Jesus told me so. And then they show later like the 80-yard part of him saying it in the movie, and it's just horrible.
Doesn't match up.
Jesus told me so.
Come on, we got to shoot Coven.
That's how people say it.
Oh yeah, watch that if you guys haven't. Horrible. That's actually, Nick D was the first on the podcast to rant and rave about that. So, he was right.
And back when he was on the podcast, I didn't listen to him. So, thanks,
Nick D. was right.
Thank you, Nick D. Something else that I watched, though, that you'll appreciate is I watched the CC Sabathia documentary.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I wish it was a little longer. I felt like they could have dived deeper into his career more, but it was a good little doc about his life after baseball and like his struggles with addiction that I had no clue about.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's fascinating to me is I'm a diehard Yankees fan, watch every game, and, that was hidden from me, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Yeah, that gut didn't say it at all. That he was struggling with alcohol.
Well, that's a Captain Crunch gut.
Never heard that one before.
Oh, you don't know? You never heard that with him?
No.
Oh, there's like a story about him where he would like go through like a box of Captain Crunch a day, man.
Well, that's the breakfast of athletes and champions.
Yeah, but it was a fascinating little watch. I agree with you, though. It could have been more in depth, and I was kind of blinded by my love for the Yankees a little bit, but it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was endearing a lot of the way through. I like when they talked about his dad and just the heartbreak he's gone through over his life. He's had tragedy and heartbreak like everybody, but it's interesting to see it from the perspective of a quote unquote celebrity, somebody who people think is untouchable and doesn't have to deal with that sort of stuff.
There's no heartbreak a fat 200 million can't fix.
Very true. But he's living large. No pun intended.
Always been a fan of that guy, but yeah, I had no idea. It makes you wonder, there's a part in that when he talks about how he'd finish a start and he goes down to the locker room, they'd have like a, I don't know, Crown Royal or something waiting for him, yeah.
Juice and alcohol. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, though, is that, it gave me a newfound respect for the guy. Like, I never disliked him, but it gave me, respect for the guy that...
Oh, I like that. Good to hear you say... Good to see you, Nick.
Hey, I'm not like one of those douchebag fans that just says stupid stuff just to rile you up. Sometimes I do, but, I can appreciate when somebody's A, good, or B, they...
Sure.
There's some humanity within them like CC has.
There are certain athletes that I will admit are unlikable, but then there's other guys that, like Derek Jeter, that even if you don't like the Yankees, how can you hate Derek Jeter,
Because he's a terrible GM.
Oh, is he though?
No, I mean, it seems like they made the playoffs last year, so I can't say anything.
Watch out for them Marlins, baby.
Oh, God, that division's going to be so fucking shitty. Shitty isn't like tough.
Health and sports chat.
Hey, we didn't want to tell you guys this until now, but this is now a baseball podcast. Movies are stupid, and I hate them. And go Fells.
Any of you guys seen WandaVision?
We'll pass. Baseball, not TV.
Oh, shit.
Death threats, May. Death threats.
Death threats, man.
Well, we had a few deaths in the family these past couple weeks. First one we had, Dustin Diamond.
Oh, Screech.
I don't know like all that much about him. I know he had a troubled life, troubled career. He was a child actor.
Yeah, the rundown with Dustin Diamond is that, Saved by the Bell was a success, but after Saved by the Bell...
Well, I don't think they even called him back for the reboot of it.
No, I mean, he was forever known as Screech, and that's it,
Yeah, and Dickie Roberts' former child star, where he played himself.
And Celebrity Fit Club.
Oh, nice.
That might be his best work.
Well, I don't know. It was just kind of horrible to see the guy had stage 4 cancer, and he was only 44. I think that's the main takeaway from it, is just the sickening nature of life and how unfair it can be.
Yeah, I don't know. I was never a big Saved by the Bell fan. When I was a kid, I was kind of, I wasn't into that. I was too young, I think.
Right.
It just didn't, I didn't watch it really. Anytime that came on, I'd flip it. But, it's a pop culture thing, and it is sad that's too young to die, especially like he was like just diagnosed, I'm sure the chemo wiped him out.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks he was diagnosed between when he was diagnosed and then when he passed, so it was it's a quick thing.
You ever see his highly acclaimed 2006 sex tape?
Haven't.
It's called Screeched. I'm not making this up.
Ew.
Screeched, Saved by the Smell.
Ew. Oh my God. That is horrible.
He
sold 2 copies.
Yeah, I remember him being on the Stern Show at one point, and I don't know, they were talking about that. There's a part where he gives a chick a dirty Sanchez in the sex tape.
God.
Have you ever seen him
Well,
on that?
stay away from that then.
You ever seen him on that clip of him on that Celebrity Fit Club?
I think so, but please
Oh,
explain.
funny as shit. It was like I'll insert the audio so you guys can hear it, but it was like a VH1 reality weight loss show. They call it Celebrity Fit Club, but really it was like the D-list people.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
The Tom
Ant
Sizemores of the world.
Yeah, Dustin Diamond, DeBrat. These people nobody even fucking cares about. But like the panel of judges, there was this guy like Harvey's like this big badass military guy, and there's one point where
I do remember this.
yeah, like him and Dustin Diamond are going back and forth, and the guy they just start screaming at each other. It's pretty funny. Dustin's like, "I'll challenge you to physical combat," and the guy just fucking rips into him.
If he agrees to combat, if you agreed to combat, I'd fight you.
And I'll wear your ass out. You
Would
wanna
you?
go toe-to-toe with me?
Come on. Would you?
How we gonna go from answer me? You
I'm saying you're putting yourself in a
cartoon mind.
Fucking loser. Delusional.
Yeah, I don't know. Dustin was a troubled guy, so.
Hey, speaking of trouble, do you see Bam Margera lately?
Oh my god, man!
That
we
guy-
were talking about that.
That guy doesn't have much longer if he keeps down this path.
Makes me sad. That one is sad to see for me.
Sad, but expected in a way.
I mean, God, dude, when I was like 14, 15, 16, that guy was, I kind of idolized that guy. I was telling you the other day. I mean, that's
Right.
You watched Viva La Bam. I mean, that was like that guy was the fucking coolest,
Right, yeah. And now he's not.
It's sad. I don't. I agree with you. I'm not sure he's got much left. He's a guy that I wouldn't be surprised any day if you get online and you hear that he died or killed himself or had an OD or something.
Yeah, definitely not. Well, he posted like a really strange, cryptic video where he's like dry heaving and he's telling people to send money to a PayPal account or something, and it's just he got kicked off of the Jackass 4 set, and now he's trying to tell people to boycott it. It's just really strange.
I heard yesterday that was like, I don't know, he was just like talking shit. That's not true.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with him. The guy's a mess,
Yeah, I mean, who's to say for sure? But at least he's got, well, unless they kind of had a falling out, he's got a guy like Steve-O that went through the same thing and figured it out.
Yeah, and I mean, Steve-O was horrible at one point, and now he's thriving, basically, if you watch his YouTube channel. But it's sad. I mean, Bam Margera's fucking 41 years old now, I mean, it's time to... I just don't think he ever got out of that mindset,
Right, and he's got a 3-year-old kid and a wife.
Right.
You got to figure it out.
A guy was on the top of the world, man, when he was in his 20s, and MTV was paying him millions of dollars, and he was driving around Lamborghinis, and now he's just like trying to hold on to that. It's sad. It's sad. But I also couldn't imagine a Jackass movie without Bam Margera. So
yeah, well, gonna have to.
I'll go watch it, but we need Bam to get better.
All right, we're starting a Patreon here for Bam's hospitalization.
We need Joe France back on the show.
We do. Maybe you should do some podcast work and reach out to him.
Maybe you should.
No, you're the social one, remember?
No, you're the press guy.
Press guy. Okay, let's see what we can do. Speaking of sad, this one brought a tear to my eye.
Oh, God. Somebody said that we picked this in the death pool.
Did they? Who said that?
I can't remember who said that. I'm sorry, I can't think of who said it, but somebody told me that we...
Well,
somebody said something that we picked that.
Yeah, please let us know.
I mean, it's not too crazy of a pick,
Well, I mean, what's your favorite Christopher Plummer film?
I mean, The Sound of Music.
Yeah, I mean,
that's one of my favorite movies.
Well, he's a little bit of the same as like a Max von Sydow, where he had his hand in a lot of different genres and films, and I mean, he had plenty of credits throughout his career. But I think Sound of Music goes down as the one.
Yeah, he's just like one of those guys. It seems like he's just acted his entire life, you know?
He did. I think he... Actually, I think when he won his Oscar for Beginners, he said something like, I came out of my mother's womb, ready to act.
Hey, I didn't know he won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's a good movie.
It was probably more of like an honorary one. Like, hey, we recognize that you've had this great career. But I don't know.
Was
I
it
haven't
Best
seen
Supporting Actor?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Best Supporting or Best Actor. I don't know how prevalent he is in the movie.
It's probably supporting.
Yeah. I want to check that out, though.
You know, I always like that guy. I don't know. I haven't even come close to seeing his entire filmography, you know?
No way, yeah.
It was always wild to me that, like, the guy from The Sound of Music was still an active actor, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he was in things as recently as, I don't know, maybe last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in Knives Out.
Knives Out. It's a lot of movies, man.
I think they said he was planning to play King Lear in something that was going to start filming in this month.
Man. Sad. What happened? He fell, didn't he?
Yeah, I had assumed it was natural causes, but I guess his wife came out and said he fell and hit his head.
Yeah, that happens at that age, man. It's
Yeah.
like, that sucks.
So I don't know. That makes it a little bit worse than, he could have kept going.
Yeah. God, was he 91?
Yeah, it was around there, yeah.
I'm due for a watch of The Sound of Music.
I am too. I don't think I've seen it. I think it's a pre-Letterboxd film.
Fuck, you're really due for a watch then.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time.
I've only logged it once on Letterboxd, so that means I'm due.
No. 91. A moment of silence for Mr. Plummer.
Our hills are alive with the sound of music.
God, I hope Julie doesn't go anytime soon.
Oh, they both outlived Liesel, though. God, she was so hot in that movie.
Yeah, well, not now.
That's like one of those chicks. My dad loves The Sound of Music, so I remember watching as a kid. I was like, God, that older daughter is a baddie, man.
What were you, 7?
Yeah.
That older daughter's a baddie.
Oh, she was so hot. Such a good-looking chick.
Doe, a deer, a female deer. I hope Dick
16.
I hope Dick Van Dyke lives forever.
Oh, fuck him, he sucks.
Well, he's still alive.
Oh, man.
Dick Van
Dyke.
How old is Mr. Van Dyke nowadays?
Shit, old as fuck,
He's
bro.
95.
Damn.
Wow. Dick Van Dyke. I think Julie Andrews is only like 80 something. 85.
What role did Dick play in the Mary Poppins sequel?
He was a banker. I don't know if it was supposed to be like the same character from the original one. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where
Bert the Chimney Sweep?
No. In Mary Poppins, the original, he also plays the old banker that runs the bank.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's
Shit.
supposed to be the same thing or not.
I don't know. I like Mary Poppins.
I love Mary Poppins.
I kind of want to watch that sequel, to be honest with you, just to check it out.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Well, I fucking paid $40 for the 4K, so I better watch it.
Yeah, well, you might as well get your money's worth
So
on it.
Disney Movie Club pulled my pants down and bent me right over for that one.
Did you cancel it?
Fuck yeah, that was enough for me to get on the phone and go, look, I'm sick of this shit. Because I also got charged for The Lion King 3.5 and
Ew, yeah, that'll be
all that
enough for you
bullshit.
to overcome your...
So it's funny, like, with all those shitty fucking movies that I got charged for, it erases the good deal I got for signing up, you know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, that's how they get you.
Yep. Thanks a lot for sucker me into that, Evan.
Well, maybe if you had some sort of confidence on the phone, you could have done it a long time ago.
I fucking did it. I just didn't feel like it.
I remember the first time I did it, like, they would not let me cancel.
I know. It's like you don't want to fucking even call because you got to deal with those people.
But then the second time I did it, they're like, "Oh, okay, well, you're done."
I called it like I called it like in the middle of the night, like a 24-hour thing.
Well, what was good was I got charged for something. I can't remember what. And so I'm like, I'm calling. So I called, and the guy's like, "Hey, we'll cancel it, and we'll cancel the movie being sent to you." So I didn't get charged for it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fine program if you just stay on top of it, you know.
Well, yeah, especially with those monthly things they'll send out if you don't go check it out. Yeah, that sucks.
Like you have to physically open the email and click on, I don't want this title, you know, or else it charges you automatically.
I mean, it's shady, but you know that's.
Well, I mean, they explain that to you, you know.
Yeah,
it's my own fault, but
well, speaking of things that people are at fault for, you hear about this Marilyn Manson stuff?
I did, yeah.
Big fan?
No, I never was into him. I was like the rumor that he was Paul from the Wonder Years.
Or that he removed his ribs so he could suck his own dick.
Yeah, that was like in elementary school. Everyone talked about that.
Well, may not be far from the truth from all the stuff coming out about him now. There's been many people accusing him, including Evan Rachel Wood's come out. And, hey, unlike Corey Feldman, she actually came right out and accused the person directly.
Well, maybe here we go. Another jab at Corey for no fucking reason.
No, I mean, just...
Corey, he fucking came out and said Charlie Sheen raped him, and nobody fucking believed it. So what is he supposed to do?
I don't know. Honestly, make a documentary or something.
Why wouldn't you... Like, doesn't it seem kind of in line with Charlie Sheen to maybe be guilty of that? The guy's fucked anyways.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely.
Like, why is that so far-fetched? I fucking believe that shit, honestly.
I'm not saying I don't. I just like to see you get worked up over Corey Feldman.
I'm sick of the fucking Feldman jabs, man.
Feldman sucks. You suck. Your taste in film sucks. Goonies is fucking shit.
Oh my god. Fucking dummy.
Stand By Me and the Goonies and Lost Boys are so good because Corey Feldman really just raises the quality of those films. He's just the greatest actor to ever live.
Never said that. Never said that at all.
A lot of people are coming out against him saying that he touched them or he made sexual advances. But it's also brought up some more disturbing accusations. And these aren't even accusations. These are things that he wrote about in his own autobiography about how he came close to carrying out the perfect murder of a lover.
Oh, okay.
So
but that doesn't mean he's guilty of rape.
Right, but he's guilty of being a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
We all knew that.
Yeah, I mean, look, much like Michael Jackson, that's easy target, you know?
So I guess what had happened was he came across a car wreck where some chick was she was on the end of her life. She was reaching out for somebody to try and hold her while she was getting her last breaths in, and he just like completely ignored the situation, and I guess he lost his appreciation for life, for human life, so he wanted to murder someone. He's quoted as saying, "Well, I didn't think it was right to take a human life. I didn't think it was right to deny myself the chance of causing someone to die either, especially someone whose existence meant so little to the world and to herself."
I mean, look, that's fucked up, but...
After roping in a friend to help, Manson wrote about how they followed her, cased her house, and figured out her routine before heading to Nancy's Fort Lauderdale home with kerosene matches and rags. But as they neared, a homeless man started following them while trying to sell drugs, and they were finally scared off by a series of sirens heading to an emergency.
Why would you write about that?
I know, right? Obviously nobody gave a shit because it's from 1999.
You know, I don't know about this. I think it's safe to say usually in these stories we side with the with the accused because it seems bullshit a lot of the times. But this one I don't know about.
Yeah, this one seems like there's some weight to it.
But are you saying that just because he's a fucking strange guy? Like if he was a normal looking guy, would you think that?
Probably, yeah, if he wrote this shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been fucking linked to all sorts of shitty things.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with, the way he dresses and the makeup and anything like that. It's just what he's written and what's...
Well, can we circle back to Corey Feldman then and his
we're done
accusation?
with him.
Well, you didn't see what he posted about Manson on Instagram?
Well, didn't he accuse him too?
Yeah, he posted this picture of them at a restaurant and this big, long fucking paragraph about how...
Cock.
This big, long... Marilyn's big, long dick. And he, I don't know. Same bullshit that he was kind of like grooming him. And honestly, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm not a Marilyn Manson fan, so I didn't invest too much thought into this, but he's best friends with Billy Corgan, and that's a little concerning to me.
Well, Billy Corgan seems like the kind of guy.
Because,
maniac, narcissist.
Let's be honest, you tell your best friends everything, and they're usually in on shit with you, so.
Yeah, good point.
Hope Billy wasn't, raping chicks.
Yeah, well, I saw something that said that... all these 90s moms were right about Marilyn Manson.
Oh, my God. He's always been linked to bullshit, though. I mean, Columbine, he was fucking blamed for that, which is absurd.
Yeah, that's absurd. You can't blame somebody because somebody mentally ill listened to his stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, I don't know. He's never done anything for me. Anytime I see someone wearing a Marilyn Manson shirt, I'm like kind of repulsed by it. So,
yeah. Well, as we always say, probably be best not to. Well, it would be good to know what's going on, but I don't think I would see celebrity life in Hollywood or anything like that the same if everything came out.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to know the truth.
The truth is out there.
I don't even want to know.
Wow, this is like meant for you, but one of the recommended stories on this Marilyn Manson story. Jason Biggs, turning down How I Met Your Mother is my biggest regret.
Oh, fuck. What was he thinking? Would have been an American Pie reunion.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Unfortunately.
Oh, shut up.
God, there's two things I love in this world, Corey Feldman and American Pie. And you can't say anything about either.
Shut the fuck up.
You shut up.
You see Cherry's Wild, his new game show on Fox?
No, but it must be helping us get those views on the American Pie commentary. Holy shit. Last I checked, it was like 50,000 views in a month. Let's see where we're at now.
That's crazy.
Live looking.
Views for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to watch this commentary with the cast of American Pie. Oh, it's Three Losers. 172,000 views now. That may end up being our highest viewed thing.
Jesus. Need to do more of those. But, yeah, it's interesting. I always like seeing or hearing stories about actors turning things down.
Yeah, it really is.
Did you know Tom Hanks could have been Andy Dufresne?
Don't tell me that.
It's true. Ew. You slurping on Tim Robbins?
Yeah. Well, as much as I love Tom, I just have a hard time thinking anything. It's just right,
Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, and Kevin Costner were offered and passed on the role.
Oh my God.
Hanks due to his starring in Forrest Gump.
Hey, well, I'm happy about that because I love that film too.
He picked the worst movie.
The better film.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say worse, but I think that both guys are perfect in the roles that they went with.
True that.
And Tom Cruise, that would be shitty if he was Andy.
Yeah.
Speaking of shitty and movies, this disturbs me. Did you see the Golden Globe nominations?
Oh my God. Yeah, I looked at them. I think I mentioned to you, and then I moved on with my life.
Yeah, I looked at them and moved on until we had to talk about them. Usually we'd probably take like an episode to talk about these.
Oh,
but
not this year.
No, these. I understand it was a bad year. There was a pandemic. This is the worst array of nominations I think I've ever seen.
I'm about done with award shows, man.
Well, there's no point in getting too worked up about them. I like watching them, but like I'm Oh, Lighthouse didn't get nominated for anything.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch it and it won't matter.
Especially when they start pushing out these fucking stupid criterias now that,
Yeah.
soon you're going to have to be all inclusive to be nominated. Ugh, whatever.
I was watching Steven Yeun on Sunday morning last week, and they mentioned that if he's nominated for an Oscar, he'd be the first Asian American nominated for an Oscar. So where's all the outrage? Why aren't they? Where's all the nominations for the Asians?
Oscar's so Asian. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It's whatever. Fuck. But I don't want to. It's going to take a lot away from me for Best Picture and all that if it's only eligible for films that have like a gay person in it,
Right. Well, and no pun intended. It's not just a black and white issue. It's. I don't know. People just think that it's. I'm not gonna carry on with that because I don't want to
Spit it
say
out.
the wrong thing.
Anyways, I saw these shitty Gold Globe nominations. As soon as I saw Promising Young Woman up for any major awards, I moved on real quick because that movie is fucking atrocious.
As soon as I saw the trial of the Chicago 7 for Best Drama, I fucking moved on with my life.
Ah, it should have been Borat too.
Well, it is up for Best Musical or Comedy.
There we go.
Okay, let's run through these real quick because I don't want to give
If you
too
want
much time
to.
to these. So drama, we have The Father, Mank, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, and Trial of Chicago 7.
I tried watching Mank the other night. There's something that was off with the audio. It wasn't coming through my headphones correctly, so I moved on.
It could just be that the audio is meant to sound like an old movie.
Is that what they're doing there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. But like, but why though? It's not an old movie. It's just about a guy that's writing an old movie.
Why not? It's aesthetically pleasing.
I was kind of glad the audio didn't work. I was tuned out after 5 minutes anyways.
You wouldn't like it anyway.
You don't know what I like and what I don't like.
Too long in black and white for you.
Oh, whatever.
The Father looks pretty good. It's got Anthony Hopkins and Olivia
What's it
Colman.
called?
The Father. I guess Anthony Hopkins is starting to get dementia, but it's from his perspective.
Have you seen some of those videos he makes on Instagram? I think he might really have dementia.
I've seen a couple of them in passing.
Yeah, that does kind of seem pretty good. Ooh, Imogene Poots.
Ooh, Imogene's Coots.
I don't like her name. It's very off-putting.
Ooh, Olivia Williams. Rushmore.
That's your favorite Wes Anderson.
Could be.
But for music,
Terrible poster.
yeah, like it doesn't tell you anything.
It's like, it's so lazy. 2 floating heads.
Yeah, but they're probably two of the big actors in Britain right now, so I'm sure that'll be enough.
She doesn't really do anything for me.
That's fair. I like her.
Yeah, well, she was in Hot Fuzz, and that takes a lot away from your acting credentials, in my opinion.
Interesting. Sorry, there's no American. You fucking moron.
That's got nothing to do with that, pal.
Best musical. This sucks. Like this best musical or comedy. Borat's subsequent movie film, Hamilton, music, Palm Springs, and The Prom.
I mean, I liked Borat 2 a lot.
I did too, but if there's a best picture movie with James Corden in it, like count me out.
Cats.
Oh God, horrible.
This is just such an uninspiring, like, boring list.
It is. Best performance by an actor, Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal.
I've heard that's really good.
That is really good. I think that's a good. I think it's
Well, and he's like, not white, so he'll probably be all over that award.
Well, we also have Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Tahar Rahim for The Mauritanian.
Well, it definitely won't be Gary, and definitely won't be Anthony because they're white men. So
Very true. Actress Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
God, Carey Mulligan is way too good to be in a shit movie like that.
I hope Frances wins. I fucking love Nomadland. I think it's coming to Hulu next week.
That's what you said. I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, it's really good. Hope you
I
enjoy
can't wait
it.
I want to just see her nude scene.
It's like 1 second, and she's floating in water. Nice nips. Honestly, I don't even want to read the rest of these because it's just like a really disturbing, horrible.
Is Private Chat up for any awards?
No, it's not, unfortunately.
Fuck.
Ooh. But I am happy to see that Anya is nominated for a movie. She's nominated for Best Performance in a Musical or Comedy for Emma.
That's cool. My infatuation with her is kind of fading.
Why? She's too popular now?
No, I'm just kind of like sick of seeing her everywhere. That's it.
Wow. Must like boys.
Is that what it means? I mean, you look at her filmography, it's not. I mean, The Witch and, I heard Queen's Gambit's pretty good, but not a whole lot there to be excited about, but she is hot.
If only she talked about coming in her asshole, like
What?
what's her name from Private Chat?
I didn't say Julia Fox was a better actress. I like Anya. It's just like, okay, I'm sick of seeing that chess thing all over now.
That's what happens, unfortunately, when things get popular. Okay. I guess I did want to mention real quick, it's interesting that for Best Screenplay, Jack Fincher got a nomination for Mank. He's been dead since 2003.
Really?
Yeah, I guess he wrote the script before he passed. So it counts.
Honestly, when I was watching that, I saw Jack Fincher as the writer. I thought maybe it was David's son.
Nope,
It's his
daddy.
dad.
His daddy.
Jeez.
So
I was like, wow, David's son's helping him? Because that guy needs the help.
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
Not a whole lot to be excited about that filmography either.
Like 7?
It's fine.
Zodiac?
It was good, but like, it was just good. I forgot about it. Do you like anything?
I like the Social Network because everybody else likes it. It's so good.
Okay, so listen to what you just said, because you just jumped on me for not liking Anya because she's popular, and now you're saying I like The Social Network because it is popular? You make no fucking sense.
Yeah, well, neither do your opinions.
The Social Network is easily his best film, closely followed by Panic Room.
Well, you've lost all your opinions for today, so we'll move on from that.
Gone Girl is borderline unwatchable.
Gone Girl, on my most recent rewatch, is a horribly written movie. The dialogue is so cringy. I wish I could kill myself.
It's so dumb. So dumb.
It loses its luster after you know what happens. And even,
I agree with that. I liked it up until that point.
And I will say that even when I did an audiobook of it before I ever saw the movie, and it was just one of those endings that just left me like really unsatisfied.
Yeah.
But I like Ben Affleck.
Yeah, he's okay.
Okay, next up we're doing a Ben Affleck retrospective.
It'd be all right. Talk about Jersey Girl.
Yeah, honestly, I think we could really get into that one because I've seen a lot of his stuff. Be on the lookout for that in 2 years. We did get a question. And I'm sure you didn't put in the work to figure out an answer to it.
Nope, you sent it to me, and I really did because it was a lot of work.
Well, I did it at work in about 10 minutes, so...
Well, I was working at work.
Oh, cool. You're so great. You're so cool.
Yeah, I work at work.
Good for you. Well, we got a question from Mitchie D, 25. So the question was, hey guys, have a question for the next podcast. This might take a bit of time, but who do you think are the decade-defining actor and actresses of each decade starting from the 1960s? Would love to hear your thoughts on the next podcast. Sorry, Seth, but I don't think Jason Biggs can win the 90s.
Damn it, Mitchie. That would have been my pick.
Well, I put in the work to answer this question.
I can do some of them. Like the 60s, I couldn't even tell you. I don't know.
Well, I guess it kind of depends what you mean by career or decade defining. Is it like box office gross or like critical appeal, combination of it?
I mean, obviously, there's no real answer,
Some of the big movies that came out during that time, or, I kind of combined it all. So for the 60s, I put John Wayne and Julie Andrews. Julie
Okay.
Andrews, she did Mary Poppins, The Sound of Music, so she was really big then, and I think she had some of the highest grosses. And then John Wayne was doing all his westerns, and
I don't think I've seen a single John Wayne film.
he's not a great actor.
How about Paul Newman?
Paul Newman, yeah, he was definitely one I was thinking of, even for the 70s too. But for the 70s, I picked Dustin Hoffman. I mean, he had a really great filmography throughout the 70s. He had Kramer versus Kramer.
Midnight Cowboy?
No, that was 69.
Oh, shit.
He had a bunch of
Damn,
stuff.
I didn't know that movie was that old.
I know, right? That one doesn't feel super old for some reason. Do you like that one?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that one's really good. Hold on, let me see. So in the 70s, he had Little Big Man, Straw Dogs, which I like, Papillon, Lenny, All the President's Men, Marathon Man, Kramer versus Kramer, shit ton of movies. Really love Papillon. And for actress, I put Diane Keaton.
Okay.
She had, well, the Godfather films. She had
Excuse me.
the Godfather film. She also had Annie Hall and Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a couple of biggies. God, I can smell that burp from
Oh,
here.
sorry.
And for the 80s, we have a couple of
What, Stallone? Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford was who I went with. Let me get his filmography real quick, because in the what?
I just makes you think of the Sacha Baron Cohen classic, Bruno. My one-on-one exclusive interview with Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Stallone or Pacino.
Pacino's one of them. Let me just rattle off his filmography.
Yeah, but Mitchie's asking for your answer, not like a list.
These are my answers.
Well, you have to pick one.
I did, Harrison Ford.
Calm down, buddy. Calm down.
You're the one that
angry.
keeps naming stuff.
Calm down.
I want some more fucking coffee.
You see this anger you've elicited, Mitchie, with this question? The guy's pissed now.
Let me just rattle off his filmography. Some of the biggest movies to come out: 1980, Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Blade Runner, Return of the Jedi, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. You may not like them, but our fans do.
I wasn't gonna say I didn't like them. I was gonna say those are several huge films.
Oh yeah, massive.
I mean, shit.
And I don't know if he still has it, but he was at one point recently the highest grossing actor ever.
Damn.
I mean, he's in some absolutely massive movies.
Yeah.
Who do you think it would be for actress? I picked
Actress of the 80s. God, I don't know.
I picked Carrie Fisher because she was also in Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. You could also find her in a bunch of other things like Hannah and her sister.
That's totally good answer.
Burbs, When Harry Met Sally.
Like if you're asking who I think defines that, I think of like a Molly Ringwald or somebody like that.
That's a good point.
You know,
Yeah.
whose face I'm not saying the most successful or even close to it, but who I define with like an 80s actress. I mean, Molly Ringwald pops into my head right away.
I agree with you. That's a good choice. For the 90s though,
God.
this may be like one of the greatest decade of films an actor can have, because I picked Tom Hanks.
That's who I'd pick.
So his first few in the 90s weren't so great, but in 1992 he started off with A League of Their Own and went from Sleepless in Seattle to Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, Toy Story, That Thing You Do,
Shit.
Saving Private Ryan, You've Got Mail, Toy Story 2, and The Green Mile. I mean,
Massive.
Probably one of the greatest decades for an actor.
Pretty big.
Pretty big. But then also for the 90s for actress, I picked Julia Roberts. I think she kind of trailed off a little bit here lately, but you know, she was a face you could not not see before.
That's very true. Very true.
Even though her filmography isn't anything.
I'm not a huge I'm not a huge fan of hers.
Yeah, me neither. But she was in
good
a lot. Yeah, a lot of rom-coms like Notting Hill and Runaway Bride. She was in Hook.
Yeah.
Oopsie. But the 2000s. I'm curious what your answer would be here.
Ooh, 2000s. Well, I can think of like actresses.
Who comes to mind?
Oh, Natalie.
That's who I picked. I picked Natalie. Do you have some of her filmography?
I don't know.
Well, I picked Leonardo
Tyler.
DiCaprio. Okay. Well, yeah, she had the trilogy, Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Ooh, DiCaprio.
I picked DiCaprio for the 2000s. So here's the way his 2000s went. 2002, Catch Me If You Can, and Gangs of New York.
Catch Me If You Can is criminally underrated.
I agree. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it definitely is. But yeah, the same year, Gangs of New York, The Aviator, The Departed, Blood Diamond, Body of Lies, Revolutionary Road. I mean, he's still now one of the most popular actors there is. And I picked somebody else for the 10s, but you could argue that his 10s he was probably one of the most popular.
Yeah, that's true. He could have 2 decades in a row, honestly.
Yeah. The my 2010s pick might be a little different, but I ended up picking Oscar Isaac. I think he just like really blew up because of the Star Wars movies. He was in Apocalypse, but also doing the little indie stuff like Inside Llewyn Davis. He was in Drive, Ex Machina, Annihilation.
That's good. 2010s, I don't know. Not really a fan of the guy. Okay, I'll do somebody I'm a fan of. Jake Gyllenhaal, I think, is pretty good for the 2010s.
Fuck.
And then like a Christian Bale.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Christian Bale's a good one. And then for actress, I ended up picking Scarlett Johansson.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, because Iron Man 2, The Avengers, Don John, Under the Skin, Her, Chef, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, Hail Caesar, Jungle Book. I mean, she's just in movie after movie after movie. Marriage Story, Jojo Rabbit, Isle of Dogs. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's hard to
pretty impressive.
It's hard to argue against her being it. A little tie buddy.
Oh, it's just, it's early morning.
I know.
What about the one, like, who do you think would be the 2020s? Like, actress, maybe like Margot Robbie or somebody?
Yeah, perhaps a Margot Robbie. I don't know. Who's been like a good actress the past year?
I don't know.
Anya?
It might be.
It's too early to tell. Got a whole decade for it. Actor? Probably Timothy. He's got Dune coming out, and
His Edward Scissorhand commercials sucked ass.
he didn't do anything. He just
One of the worst things I've ever seen. That commercial gets a 1 out of 5 from Seth.
Well, I'm sure they'll ask for your opinion when they send you the mailer.
Timothy Chalamet blows.
You're just a hater. He's a great actor.
I like Call Me By Your Name, though.
Yeah, well, do you like cannibalism?
No.
Can't we
I
find-
get it. The Army
Jesus
Hammer's
Christ. Now.
not a fan.
Well, we did have one trailer from the Super Bowl. Just want to touch on real quick. Did you see the new M. Night movie?
Yes.
Old?
Yes.
Looked interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Anything he does is of interest to me.
Yeah, me too. But it at least caught my attention in a way that, like, hey, if somebody else made this, I'd probably check it out too.
Right.
I like
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it looked pretty. I'll check it out. I watch everything he does except for like The Last Airbender or whatever that bullshit is. But
You ever see Lady in the Water?
I haven't seen that. No, I've heard that's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. Didn't
But
like
yeah,
The Village, though.
No, I don't know. That one didn't really do it for me. To me, he either makes like a really good movie or it's like kind of stupid.
Understandable.
There's no middle ground.
That's true.
I really like Signs as much as I joke around about it, just because you love it. I kind of rag on it, but I like Signs.
Hey, we'll get into that a little later.
Sixth Sense, though. I mean, those are two great movies. No, I didn't care for that.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever.
I thought, what's the one with Ed Oxenbould?
The Visit.
Yeah, that was okay. I guess there was some middle ground there. That was all right.
Yeah, Split was okay.
Split was well acted. It's just like I don't want anything that connects to Unbreakable. Let's move on from it.
Yeah, and then he made Glass, which sucked ass.
Yeah, I will say though, like if you're a fan of Unbreakable, to see Split and then at the end Bruce Willis shows up, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it is. Real quick, we can go through the May criterions that were just announced.
Oh,
there is a big one. And it's the first one, so we're getting it out of the way. So on May 11th, we have Fast Times at Ridgemont High coming
yeah.
Like this one?
Hell yeah.
Cameron
Aloha,
Coe.
Mr. Hand.
Cameron Coe. Yeah, this is a cool release to come out. Adds to the, I guess, 80s.
Mr.
Films.
Spicoli, just what in the hell do you think you're doing? Learning about Cuba, having some food. Classic, bro.
Sean Penn's greatest film.
Oh, it is, for sure.
That's a fun one. I'll definitely be picking that one up.
I love that movie. And, oh, God, some like super hot chicks. Phoebe Cates in that movie. Oh, my God. Unreal.
I guess Olivia Wilde's a real filmmaker now because there's a new conversation with Heckerling and Crow moderated by filmmaker Olivia Wilde.
Well, got to incorporate the women.
Yeah. Well, she fucked over Jason Sudeikis pretty hard to get with Harry Styles, so they can be just as scummy as
yeah,
men.
that's true. I love Fast Times, though. That'll be a automatic purchase for me. It's a great movie. Judge Reinhold, fantastic.
Yeah. It's almost as good as Santa Claus, but...
What? God.
Sorry, I
fuck.
like Santa Claus more than High School.
Yeah, you would like Tim Allen playing Santa Claus more than a sex comedy.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Jason Leigh,
Oh, man. So pure.
Forrest Whitaker,
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards. I knew an Anthony Edwards in school.
My Twitter profile picture used to be Mark Ratner from that film. The Rat.
And then it changed. What happened?
He was, I don't know, it was just like a running gag because he's very, I don't know.
Well,
Just a goof.
a goofball.
Goofball.
We also have Nightmare Alley, which is a 40s movie about a small-time carny whose unctuous charm propels him to fame as a charlatan spiritualist, but whose unchecked ambition leads him down a path of moral degradation and self-destruction. Interesting.
Nice. 1940s movie about a carny. It kind of sounds
Yeah.
good.
Well, Nightmare Alley is the name of Guillermo's new film coming out, too. I
Wow.
doubt they have anything to do with each other, but that one sounds pretty interesting.
It does.
It'll go along with your new spirituality you have.
I'm going to meditate before watching it. Repulse the monkey. Cripes.
What's the other thing he says?
Tame the wild horse's chi or something like that.
Repulse the monkey.
Cripes.
Cripes. Also, May 11th, we have Merrily We Go to Hell. Wow.
Oh, I want Merrily We Roll Along.
Which one's that?
The Richard Linklater film that's going to take 25 years with Beanie Fatstein.
That's not very nice.
Oh, I know.
It's about an urbane couple whose relationship is pushed to the breaking point by his alcoholism and wandering eye. His whispering eye, leading him into an emotionally explosive experiment with an open marriage.
Tell me, Mr. Whispering Eye.
It sounds like a... Wow.
Cary Grant.
Oh, really?
You know, he died in Davenport.
Did he?
He did, at the Adler Theater, or right after he was at the Adler Theater for a performance.
That's
Davenport.
horrible.
Yep. St. Luke's Hospital, Davenport. I was born
Well,
there.
we should go to that filming location. And this is where Cary Grant's corpse was.
Rip.
A couple more. Flowers of Shanghai. Ooh, intoxicating time-bending experience. Oh, late 19th century Shanghai. Something about buying back freedom. I don't know about that one. I think
Was this
I'll
the
skip that one.
1998 film?
Correct, yes. Actually, it sounded kind of interesting.
Women in a Brothel? Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Is there a synopsis? Because there isn't a great one here.
It says women struggle in a Shanghai brothel where everything only appears to be beautiful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense for a time-bending experience. Okay, maybe it would be all right.
As long as they're not like flying over the rooftops, because that shit's whack.
Oh, yeah, like in The Witch.
No, I mean like when they're gliding across the rooftops in Crouching
Tiger.
I was like, what the fuck? This is not my genre.
Last one we have here is trances.
Trans. Documentary about the Moroccan musical group?
What kind of does it tell? What kind of genre?
No.
Song and traditional instruments, and with connections to political theater, the band became a local phenomenon and an international thanks to its rebellious lyrics and sublime, fully acoustic sound.
It seems interesting. It's not something I'd buy, but I would watch it
Yeah.
if I had access to it.
Introduction from 2013 by the Film Foundation's founder and chair, Martin Scorsese. If Martin likes it, it's probably boring as shit.
If Grandpa likes it, I'm interested.
Well, speaking of Grandpa, it's time. It's time to talk about Grandpa Mel. This is what everything has come to.
Why are we doing a Mel Gibson retrospective?
Well, there's no in particular reason. I just love the guy. He's one of my well, I love the actor. I don't. I love his films, and we haven't done a retrospective in a long time, so figured why not?
Justin McLeod, baby.
Yeah, I mean, does he even have a movie coming soon at all?
I don't know, but I'm glad to see him kind of. He did kind of push through a lot of that shit, you know?
He did, and it's not to say that a lot of it wasn't warranted. He did some pretty shady shit, but you know, it's good to see that he's finally starting to break through again, and you know, he's back.
This could be a controversial episode title in terms of reception, I guess.
It could be. I mean, we're going to talk about the controversies, and you know, he's like I said, he's done some shitty stuff.
We go deep into this retrospectives, a deep dive into Mel's ass.
Ooh, I wish. All right, so let me ask you this first before we start.
Okay.
Would you fuck Mel?
He could be daddy.
Well, oh my God, Mel Columsal Gerard Gibson.
What a name.
What a name. Born in 1956, January 3rd, just turned 65. God damn, just turned 65.
You know, that I was just thinking that because I see I just saw his age, and I see like Tom Hanks and guys like that who in my head I associate with me being a kid, you know. I think of Tom Hanks as like a 40-year-old guy. Fuck,
Yeah.
man.
Well, you know, some people age gracefully. Like, I think Mel's aged pretty gracefully. Some people don't, and you know, sometimes you just don't even realize it. Time is just like it's constant. It really
The
is.
moments.
It really is. He's an American actor, film director, producer, and screenwriter. Best known for his action hero roles, particularly his breakout role as Max Rockatansky. Is that how you even say it? I don't even know. Rockatansky in the first three films of the post-apocalyptic action series Mad Max.
I disagree with that statement because that's not what I don't associate him with that at all instantly.
Well, yeah. What about Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon?
That is more in line for sure. I do like Lethal Weapon.
It's interesting though. He was born in New York. He moved with his parents to Sydney, Australia when he was 12. Studied acting at the National Institute of Drama. What?
You're just reading Wikipedia.
Yeah, I am. I
following along with you.
I literally copied and pasted this beginning part.
Oh, that's okay though. It's good info.
Yeah, I mean, it's things we should know. It is interesting though because he was born in New York and he came up in Australian movies. So I think people seem to think he's Australian.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how he wants to call himself. But yeah, he studied acting at the National Institute of Dramatic Art, where he starred opposite Judy Davis in Romeo and Juliet. And then in the 80s, which is a little bit after he started acting, he founded a production company. But it's interesting with these. I kind of wish I was a little older when Gibson was starting to go through like the 90s with Braveheart and stuff, because I like to watch like actors and directors' trajectory through their career.
Right.
And I mean, he had a monster trajectory throughout those years, and it's hard to put in perspective how big he really was when he was big. But yeah, interesting too. The guy's so sexy that in 1985, Gibson was named the sexiest man alive by People, the first person to be named so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mel's breaking barriers.
He's breaking barriers for the white man.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess... What?
I was going to say, which Jew did he beat out for that award?
Well, let's talk real quick about his father, who is a...
Maury Gardner.
His father, Hutton Gibson, he was...
This is a total biography on Mel here, folks.
It really is. Well, I love the guy, so I want to deep dive into his whole thing. But
Peekskill, New York, that's a small town he was born in.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
I'm a New York historian.
Oh yeah, what year was New York founded?
I don't know.
His dad actually just died last year. He was 101.
Shit.
But
the World War II veteran, the 1968 Jeopardy grand champion, and the father of 11 children.
Well, those Catholics, they really like to fuck.
Wow.
He was very outspoken in the Catholic Church, but in 2003, in a 2003 interview, he engaged in Holocaust denial, wondering how the Nazis could have disposed of 6 million bodies during the Holocaust, and claimed that the September 11th attacks were perpetrated by remote control. He was also quoted as saying that the Second Vatican Council was a Masonic plot backed by the Jews.
I don't agree with his viewpoints on the Holocaust, but he might be onto something with 9/11.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. I think there's a lot more there than that meets the eye.
But disputing the events of 9/11 is way different than
disputing the events of the Holocaust.
Yeah, denying the Holocaust.
Yeah,
it's totally different.
I don't think he's a big fan of the Jewish man.
The Jewish folks.
Yeah, so since we got a little bit of the biography and background, growing up in Australia, we can kind of start with the filmography now, because it does start in Australia.
Wow.
Well, let me get to it first. Should we talk about controversies, or should we do that later?
Let's just kind of do things in order.
Okay.
We'll kind of start with David Gopaloli.
Gopalil? What's he in?
David Gallipoli.
Oh.
It was a reach.
It was. I was going to say, though.
Australian, though.
Yeah, there is a guy in that movie that I thought for a second was David.
Australian, baby.
Black Australian man.
It's an Aborigine.
I'm sorry.
Use the correct terms.
Well, his career started in the year 1977. Crazy.
I can't wait. The entire audience is turning this shit off right now.
Mel Gibson, why are they glorifying him?
Why are they talking about Mel's shitty 1980 Australian film?
Gallipoli? Hey, it's pretty good.
I've never seen it. It's probably as good.
Well, he was given an uncredited role in a movie called I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. And then moved on to, not really a starring role, but he was in Summer City in 1977. But then, 2 years later, he got the call to star in Mad Max. I don't love this movie.
You just watched this.
I did. I hadn't seen it in years.
It's been a few years for me. I picked up is it a Scream Factory release?
It is. It also
Or
got a
Shout
4K
Factory.
recently.
It's one of those Shout Factory titles that's like always not as expensive as the other ones.
It's a budget title for sure.
You can get it for like $10 probably, but a lot of people love Mad Max. A lot of people love that franchise, especially Fury Road came out a few years ago. It really kind of brought the entire thing back into
Definitely
popularity.
Revitalized it, yeah.
Yeah, so I checked that out a few years ago. I checked out the original. I'm kind of in the same boat you are in regards to how I feel about it. It's okay. If you have seen Fury Road and then you go back to the original and you expect to see Mel Gibson and guys playing flaming guitars and shit, like it's not going to happen.
No, it's a lot more subtle, and it could be a budgetary issue. Maybe Fury Road is what George Miller wanted to do all along.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. He definitely doesn't show off his acting chops in it. He's more, he's almost like he's a quiet police officer. I don't know. I was honestly a little confused by the plot. It was a little convoluted at times until later on.
That entire genre, it's like the post-apocalyptic wasteland sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Not always my favorite. There's
Hit
a couple
or miss.
there's a couple that I really like, but then there's a couple that are just you forget about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You ever seen The Road?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a great movie.
Yeah, that's good.
Also recommend Turbo Kid for anyone out there if you like post-apocalyptic.
We're going to skip through a little bit of the early stuff just because I don't know too much about it. But check out the poster for the movie that came out the same year called Tim. It's just Tim. It's just called Tim.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, it's a little goofy.
Tim, let's see.
He plays a developmentally impaired kid, though, in that.
Wow. Piper Laurie.
So he's really showing his acting chops.
God, I can't even think of Piper Laurie without thinking of her disturbing performance in Carrie.
I think of that too, but I also think how hot she looked in The Hustler.
You know what? You're right, but I can't get that disturbing imagery out of my head. Which says a whole lot about that film.
Yeah, it just says a lot about the performance in that.
Oh God, that Tim poster is something else.
I was looking at smiling.
I was looking at the Wikipedia one, but then I went over to Letterboxd and whoa.
Yeah, it's a little goofy. But that was in 1979. Then a couple years later, he had a pretty big year. 1981, he had Attack Force Z, which I don't know about, but he had Gallipoli and Mad Max 2, which I think is probably the better Mad Max. I think it's a little more action-y. I think it pushes towards what Mad Max is now.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people who are, I don't know, going back to the original Mad Max would appreciate the second one more.
Yeah.
For sure.
How sick would it have been if he would have made some sort of cameo appearance in Fury Road?
He should have been the fucking star.
He should have been.
God.
Grizzled Mad Max.
It would have been awesome. Like his badass beard, his gray beard. Man, that would have been sick.
Yeah. But Gallipoli, this is where he really did start to show his acting chops. He went from like stoic action star to serious actor with this one. I just saw this one last night, and it's pretty good. Are you gonna watch this anytime soon? I kind of want to spoil it.
You can go ahead and talk about it because
Okay.
I promise you it ain't moving to the top of my watch list.
No, I didn't think so. But it was directed by Peter Weir, who's got a pretty good filmography on his own. But essentially, 90% of the movie is Mel Gibson and this other guy, two friends. They're like runners. It's just showing their home life, them going off to war to fight for the Australian Army in the First World War.
Okay.
But like 90% is just them, their relationships, their conversations. And you're like, okay, I like these characters. You think there's going to be like this big, expansive, positive ending, but they just run off into gunfire and then get shot and killed, and it just cuts right there. It's like a freeze frame of them getting shot.
Oh, that's kind of disturbing. Kind of cool, though.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. That was a good one. Yeah.
Interesting. Now I kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, Gallipoli. Yeah, 90% is just getting to know the characters. 10% is, oh, well, fuck me.
Yeah.
Guess I don't need to know the characters.
Yeah.
Skipping through a few years, 4 years to 1985, he had Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. This is not one I've seen, but this seems like it's going the route of sequels where they just do weird shit, like they cast Tina Turner in it.
Oh yeah. See, I haven't seen this one either, unfortunately.
It's always looked a little off to me. I haven't really been excited to check it out. I do want to mention though too, for people that don't know, the villain Toe Cutter in the first Mad Max is the villain in Fury Road.
That's pretty cool.
Morton Joe, and he just
It's the
passed
same guy?
away. Yeah, same guy.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, but he just passed away really recently. But 2 years later, Lethal Weapon.
Yes. Really one of the all-time great, buddy cop films, I guess.
Yeah, I saw the first one the first
Richard
time.
Donner, baby.
Yeah, Richard Donner. He's got a little bit of a underappreciated filmography, at least to me. Like I didn't know all the things he had done in his career.
Also, Richard Donner is awesome. It was also written by Shane Black.
I really like Shane Black films. I think you should check out Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Another like fun, in the same vein as this, like goofy, funny cop movie.
Okay,
Pretty good. It's got Val Kilmer in it, and a hot Michelle Monaghan.
Nice. I can get down with that. I do love some Dick Donner films, though.
Yeah,
Goonies, The Toy. You ever seen that gem with Richard Pryor?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, classic.
This is a good one though. I watched it for the first time a few years ago, and I had a lot of fun with it. You could still hear Mel's Australian accent a few times.
That's true. That's
throughout
very
it.
true.
And Danny Glover, he's great in it as well. Have you ever seen?
Roll for this shit?
Have you ever seen Lethal Weapon 5? The It's Always Sunny movie.
No, but I thought they were gonna make a real new Lethal Weapon.
I recommend you check it out. It's like 15 minutes, but essentially Rob McElhenney and Glenn Howerton. Glenn Howerton plays Danny DeVito at the beginning, and then Rob plays Mel, and then halfway they switch.
Wow.
And Rob McElhenney starts wearing blackface.
Oh God.
And for some reason there was never a controversy about it.
Yeah. How does that work?
It's so goddamn funny though, and I just check it out. He's doing the whole Danny Glover accent. He's just like, getting too old for this shit. He's got blackface, like his whole body's covered. It's ridiculous.
Blackface, my favorite type of comedy.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Love Lethal Weapon though.
Lethal Weapon's great. 2 years later, Lethal Weapon 2. I just checked this out the other day.
Yep.
I didn't love it as much, but I still enjoyed it.
I'm kind of in the same boat there. Like I don't think every movie in the series is some amazing thing, but they're solid.
Yeah, and it introduced Joe Pesci to the game.
Oh yeah, with his blonde hair.
His blonde hair. Yeah, he kind of plays a role similar to Home Alone, I guess, as far as the character.
Yeah.
Like, fast talking. He's not like Goodfellas at all.
Well,
He's, like, jokey and
as much as Joe Pesci's associated with those gangster films, he's been in some fucking odd sort of movies and odd roles.
yeah.
Gone fishing, anybody?
Isn't that how Danny Glover too?
Yeah, it's Danny Glover and Joe Pesci.
A Lethal Weapon 2 reunion.
Great film.
Yeah, it's a fun one. But then the next year, he did something really different, and he starred in the movie Hamlet, which is like completely against anything he would have ever done because it's more like stagey and.
Glenn Close.
Yeah, Glenn Close, Ian Holm,
Helena
Bonham
Bonham.
Carter. Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Shakespeare adaptations?
I can't think of one that I love. I don't know. I mean, it's nothing I gravitate towards for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever.
There was the Macbeth that came out a few years ago with Michael Fassbender that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't know. One thing that I forgot to mention is that Mel's like one of those rare actors that I could watch whatever he's in. He always elevates it for me.
Yeah.
So I would probably check this out mostly because of him. And that poster, like if you didn't know it, it kind of reminds you of Braveheart a little bit.
It looks like Nick Cage.
That too. It looks like Nick Cage.
What's her name? I bet. Oh yeah, she's kind of. Oh yeah, Helena. How old was she in that movie?
Well, it came out.
What is she, like 60 now?
It came out in 1990. She's 54. She was 24.
She's
You're good.
I like her.
I think she's attractive.
So do I.
In a different sort of way.
I mean, she's like, sometimes she looks really hot. Sometimes I just think it's the way they make her look in movies. Like,
yeah. What do you think of? What do you think of her as in Harry Potter?
I would totally bang Bellatrix for sure, like with pleasure.
And then she'll fucking kill you for being a muggle.
That's the whatever.
Bellatrix LeBangs.
Her teeth are a little scary, but that's all
Whatever.
right.
Don't have to look at them.
You can put there's got to be some spell I could shoot out of my wand to fix her teeth.
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah, I could shoot something out of my wand all over into her face.
Ew, fucking gross. Well, she really makes my pumpkin juice.
Ew. It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't, but you laughed.
Oh, fuck.
What do you expect? Pumpkin juice?
Oh, God.
But 2 years later, Lethal Weapon 3. I haven't seen this one, but this is where I hear that the series starts to trail off a little. What?
I was just going to say she could play with my Sorcerer's Stones.
I'd sure love to explore her Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Back to Mel. Back to Dad.
Next up, we're going to have a Daniel Radcliffe retrospective.
Oh, shit.
I could probably do that.
I could, too. He's all right.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon 3. This is where I hear things get a little off the rails.
Look at that poster. Like, they just, like, inserted Pesci into the artwork.
That's kind of funny, but it's
Weird.
It was still it still made a lot of money. $320 million. Holy shit.
Did Dick Donner direct all those? Yeah, he did.
He directed this one and 4. Ooh,
Yeah.
God, the poster for 4 looks horrible. It looks like a mishmash of
It does. Very generic.
yeah. He doesn't have the mohawk or the mullet anymore.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Let's see.
1993 is my favorite Mel year.
Because of the one movie? Mm-hmm. 1993, the year I was born. See,
Directorial debut.
This is what I mean. I wish I was around, like a little older, so I could just kind of see these things happen before my eyes.
Right.
But 1993 directorial debut, The Man Without a Face.
I think that this movie is one of the most underrated films that I've personally seen.
Well, that's a good way to phrase it, because you haven't seen everything.
Yes, not the most underrated film of all time, because I haven't seen every film ever made. But out of what I've seen, it's very, very underrated, underappreciated. And this is Mel's directorial debut.
Yes, it was. Obviously, he goes on to do great things, which we'll talk about. I really enjoy this movie. Not that Rotten Tomatoes matters, but it had a 65%, so I guess not a lot of people were on board with it.
I mean, I guess I can understand it. There's parts where it comes off a little Lifetime-y, probably, you know. But man, I don't know. I remember seeing it on TV as a kid, and as a kid you just notice his mangled face. But then you go back and I watch as an adult, and I'm like, fuck, this is a pretty goddamn good movie, you know?
It is good, yeah. The relationship between a man and a boy, which doesn't sound great on paper, but
yeah, based on a novel from 1972.
Oh,
and yeah,
it's a remake.
Yeah, it's a book adaptation. Mel is kind of this reclusive guy that lives in this house that's kind of far away from everybody, and he's got this fucked up face. Mm-hmm. And this kid, Nick Stahl, who went on to have a bunch of issues. He was in Terminator 3, and then he fell into the drug life.
Poor guy.
Yeah, but he ends up kind of making a friendship with Mel, who's like a former teacher, and he tutors him, and he's like helping him with school and shit. But then people think that there's some weird, sexual thing going on between them, which there's not.
Yeah, you can't have a relationship helping a boy, try to become a man without people thinking there's weird things going on.
Yeah.
But he also had James Horner help him with the score.
Oh, man.
Which would help him later on down the road, a couple of years later.
I guess what I'm reading about is the book actually implies that
it is pedophilic.
There might have been some sort of sexual thing going on there, but the film erases all that.
I mean, that's probably for the best.
Yeah, Gibson has expressed dislike for the book because of its implied sexual contact between Justin McLeod, who's the main character, and Chuck, who's the kid.
Yikes.
Quote, I read the script first, and that's what I liked. The book is just, I'm sorry, but the guy did it. And like, why? I just wanted something a lot more positive. So I guess in the book, that's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah.
The film is not portrayed that way at all. So I'd be willing to say the film is, is better than.
Probably, yeah. That sounds a little gross.
Yeah.
Man Without a Face. It's a good start to a directorial career.
One of my favorite film endings ever, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's one
The
of those.
Wave.
Yeah, it'll tearjerker, dick jerker.
Well, dick jerker. Well, the next year, 1994, he re-teamed up with Richard Donner to do Maverick, which have not seen, but Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Gardner. It's like a Western. He's a con man who collects money in order to enter a high-stakes poker game.
Jeez, Dick Donner really liked Mel.
I guess so. Well,
That's cool.
who doesn't? Well, a lot of people.
Look at that artwork. Jodie Foster wearing that dress. Probably the only time in her life she's had a dress on.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she was not liking that. She prefers to be in... Never mind. I was going to make a taxi driver
Pantsuit?
thing. No, I was going to make a taxi driver thing.
Gross.
1995, though, maybe it is easily his best year to date.
Yes, Casper.
Casper, yeah, Casper is a cameo, which is pretty cool. I like that scene a lot. But his second directorial film,
And his
one of
second
my
best.
favorite, one of my favorites, Braveheart. This is when things completely change for the guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, the film goes on, wins a shit ton of Oscars. He wins for Best Director, Best Picture. Really high-grossing film, generally positive reviews. Grossed $75 million in the U.S. and $210 worldwide. It won Best Picture, like I said, Best Director, Cinematography, Makeup, Sound Effects, and Editing.
Yeah.
It was a game changer.
And I'm a late comer to Braveheart.
I am too. I think I watched it for the first time maybe like 4 years ago.
Oh,
4 or
jeez, I thought
5.
you had seen it way before that.
No, I haven't, but I've seen it like 5 times since, and I love it.
You let me borrow your 4K, and Christ, it's a great film. It's one of those, I mean, you can't get to every classic, and that's one that's just always kind of eluded me
Oh, yeah.
until recently.
And people make a big deal about how it's not historically accurate, but
I
are
don't
you
care.
entertained by the movie? Because
Yeah, I
I'm
don't care about
entertained by
that.
the movie.
That's never bothered me in any film that's based on anything true or whatever. I just, I'm watching a film. I want to be entertained for the 2-3 hours, whatever, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care about anything else.
Yeah. And what a daunting thing to have to be the star of this big epic, direct it. It's crazy.
It's a badass movie, man.
It is. Gibson was initially interested in directing only and considered Brad Pitt in the role of William Wallace. And then as we've seen with later films like Hacksaw Ridge, it says Gibson had to tone down the film's battle scenes to avoid an NC-17 rating.
Jeez.
The final version was rated R for brutal medieval warfare. So I wonder how that would have been.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what was in there.
According to Gibson, in 2016 interview with Collider, there was a 4-hour version of the film and would be interested in reassembling it if both Paramount and Fox are interested.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'd watch 4 hours.
They could do an extended cut of that. If Lord of the Rings can do it, Braveheart can do it.
Yeah, I'd say beloved at this point.
It's I want to watch that again, man. I need to buy that 4K.
It's a really rewatchable sort of movie.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising for something like that, because for me, usually things like that aren't. Mm-hmm. It's just something like, you look at that and you think, oh, it's probably good for a one-timer and then move on, but man, it's so good.
Comes back to you.
Yeah. Great music from Horner, too.
Oh my God, one of my favorites.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it already, well, maybe you should, but spoiler alert, when they chop his head off at the end, Frida! The music's on. Oh.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! And then when they're getting ready to battle, it's like, They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
One of the classic film quotes.
Yep. So this was I think this would have been an interesting time to be aware of the movie cycle, just to see the change in how his career would have gone. You know, he's this big actor, now big director. What can he do next? Like what? So he does Pocahontas that same year. You like this movie?
Dude, I only found out that was him like a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never even seen Pocahontas, I don't think, or not all the way through.
I remember liking it. Seen it in so long. I want to. It's got some great music.
That was just one of those. 1995, it would have been 5. You know, it's like, I don't want to watch this girl movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it just never appealed to me as a kid, and I never went back and watched it. I don't want to watch it. This girl, you know, it's
right.
Cartoon girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So I never watched it, but yeah, that's kind of a recent discovery for me. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've owned it like ever since I really started collecting. I still have not seen it again since I was a kid.
Yeah,
I want to go back and watch that. There's one from 1996 called Ransom. I've never seen that one.
I've seen that. Well,
Have you?
I was young. Yeah, I remember my parents renting it from Family Video or one of those places. I couldn't tell you anything about it though. It's probably pretty forgettable.
Pretty decent cast.
Yeah.
Rene Russo, Gary Sinise,
that's
Delroy
right, Gary
Lindo,
Sinise.
Liev Schreiber, Donnie Wahlberg, Lily Taylor. Fifth highest grossing film in 1996, so people liked it. Oh, it was directed by Ron Howard too.
Ah.
And scored by James Horner. Starting to see a theme.
I always had this thing in my head that like Ron Howard only directed like amazing films, but ooh,
He has not.
there's some fucking shitty movies in there, man.
He's directed some crap.
You know what I mean though? Like to me, he's just I always thought that, I don't know. You just think he's like one of those, oh, it's a Ron Howard film, but then you start looking, it's like, whoa.
Well, he directed that shitty Hillbilly Elegy that came out last year.
Oh
It just
yeah,
got
I've heard horrible
destroyed.
things.
Yeah. I don't know your thoughts on like The Grinch, but
Yeah, that's when I discovered Ron Howard sucks.
no.
Backdraft. I'm sorry, Nick D, but whoa, horrible movie. I've tried watching it like 8 times. I can't make it 30 minutes.
Well,
I don't know.
fucking
Maybe
switch.
you give a movie a chance, but I can't with that one. I just
Turn off
can't.
your fucking switch.
Splash is good though.
You like that one?
Yeah, you see Daryl Hannah in that movie? So hot. Oh man.
Was one of those Josh Gad things about that movie. It just seemed really weird compared to everything else.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like maybe it's a big movie. I don't know.
It's not. I mean, it's fucking stupid. Tom Hanks and a mermaid, but
Honestly, looking at it, his filmography isn't great at
no,
all.
it sucks. I'm
Like-
looking at it right now.
Apollo 13's good, but
That's his best film, I think, for me.
I like Cinderella Man. Like his movies, I like his movies. I don't love any of his movies.
And you know what?
No.
Like, Tom Hanks is my favorite actor. I've never had any interest in watching those fucking Da Vinci Code movies.
Me neither.
Like, I started reading that first Da Vinci Code book. I was not into it.
Yeah, it seems a little weird, and they weren't like critically taken very well.
Yeah, those are strange movies because, like, you could tell they're big actors, big budget, but they just kind of come and go, you know?
Yeah, Cinderella Man, I like that one. Frost Nixon's pretty good. The Dilemma is awesome. Just kidding, it's a piece of shit.
Ugh.
I like it in the Heart of the Sea. See, I like his films. There isn't one that I love.
Rush was
No.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Anyways, back to Mel.
back
Fuck
to
you,
Mel.
Ron. Fuck you, Opie.
2 years later, because 1997 has a bunch of things. Well, he's got 2 cameos and a movie. But 1998, we have Lethal Weapon Thor.
And like you said, horrible artwork. Looks like every generic movie that came out in the 90s. I don't think I've even seen part 4.
Oh, Jet Li in his American film debut.
Yep. Chris Rock.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
It's probably fine, but it's not. I'm never in the mood for that. If I'm in a mood for that type of movie, I'm not watching Lethal Weapon 4.
Right. Well, 1999, we have Payback, which I have seen. I will say a little bit forgettable.
I think I might have. I don't know if I've seen that or not.
It's like another crime caper. It didn't do.
It's like my least favorite genre, dude. If the poster's got a guy holding a pistol in that pose, I'm probably not watching it.
Get ready to root for the bad guy.
I'm okay. Let's get to Chicken Run already.
Well, let's talk about it now. 2000, turn of the millennium.
Yes.
Chicken Run. I remember being disturbed by this movie.
It's really good in that British, Wallace and Gromit type of animation. I think it's the same studio, honestly.
It looks like it.
It is, yeah.
Ardsman,
Yeah.
something like that, and
They have-
DreamWorks. But
They have that weird sort of claymation-looking thing.
it was their first feature-length film.
Have you seen this?
Not recently.
It's pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good
Okay.
for what it is, I mean, yeah.
I remember being disturbed when they cut the chicken's head off.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
But they're basically just trying to escape the chicken farm, right?
Right, pretty much. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it is pretty good. And they announced a sequel is coming out, and this bullshit, Mel, was not included in the sequel.
Well, fuck them then. I won't watch it.
Yeah,
I'll boycott.
that's bullshit.
It's got a ton of Harry Potter actors in it though. Miranda Richardson, Timothy Spall, Imelda Staunton.
I like
I'll check
that.
it out.
I like that style. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's like stop motion claymation.
Yeah. Well, it made over $224 million. It was it was at some point the highest grossing stop motion film in history.
Yeah, we don't really get movies like that in America, so it's kind of an interesting thing,
Yeah. Actually,
that's so British.
it still is the highest
Yeah.
grossing stop motion film ever. All right. So, in 2000 also, we have The Patriot.
Oh, a Roland Emmerich shitfest.
Have you seen this?
Bits and pieces.
Well, like you said, it was directed by Roland Emmerich, written by Robert Rodat, who wrote Saving Private Ryan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Shows you what the power of a good director.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how I feel about this movie anymore. I watched it a lot growing up, and it's like one of those entertaining war films again, like Braveheart, except it doesn't do a lot of the things that Braveheart does.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one that Mel definitely elevates. He's really good in it. There's some cool battle sequences.
I remember liking some of the music.
Oh, fuck. The music is so good. John Williams.
Oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah, John Williams. It's not good. I like it. It's entertaining. That's about it as far as
Fair enough.
Yeah. There's some
Roland Emmerich is just seeing his name as a turnoff.
It really is. We don't need to go off on another tangent, but talk about a shitty filmography.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man.
Plus, whenever I think of Heath Ledger, I think of this movie.
Well, it's probably better than his performance as the Joker. So.
Oh, he was in that movie? Forgot about that.
Ugh.
Also in 2000, a movie I saw for the first time the other day, What Women Want.
What men what?
Oh, boy. Directed by Nancy Meyers. You ever seen a Nancy Meyers movie?
Oh, what has she done?
The Parent Trap, Something's Gotta Give, The Holiday. It's complicated.
So just shit movie after shit movie.
So, rom-com after rom-com.
Parent Trap sucks.
I like The Parent Trap.
It sucks.
Well, she's got a certain a style, a tone, a type. This has the exact same tone and type as The Parent Trap. It was really weird. I thought I was watching like a direct sequel or something.
What do you call that tone and type?
Like 90s. Like
Okay.
it's like even though it came out in 2000, it's like this 90s tone. It's really hard to I can't really explain it.
Okay.
But he plays a guy named Nick Marshall that gets into an accident that allows him to hear what women want or what they're thinking.
Oh God.
It's interesting. There's some funny parts, but ultimately I kind of forgot about it right after. It's not really memorable.
Yeah.
But it's got
It seems very.
Yeah,
Just
it's
nothing about it sticks with you.
Yeah, it's got Helen Cunt and Marissa Tomei.
Oh,
She's
Marissa Tomei.
looking real good.
She's
Oh wait,
always hot.
wow, there was a loose remake that came out in 2019 called What Men Want.
Oh God, great.
Oh God, Taraji P. Henson and Tracy Morgan. I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, it's Mel doing something different once again and doing like a rom-com.
Does Mel bang Marissa Tomei in that film?
Yeah, he does.
Sweet.
There's like a whole extended scene where he's banging her and he can hear what she's saying or thinking. And she's just like, wow, I hope he's bigger down there. And
Oh God.
like, she's basically saying that the sex sucks, and then he gets really good at it. And she starts stalking him. It's
What a film.
really weird. $1 Million Hotel. I think we'll skip. Oh, directed by Wim Wenders.
Ooh. Vim.
Drama film based on a concept story by Bono and Nicholas Klein, directed by Wim Wenders.
Bono, I'm out.
Well, it's got Mila Jovovich in it.
Suddenly
Wow.
back in.
What a cast. Jeremy Davies, Amanda Plummer, Gloria Stewart from Titanic.
Suddenly back in.
Dang, she must have been like... Oh, wait, she just died in 2010. I thought she died like right after Titanic. Holy shit.
Shit. I don't know
A
what's
group
going on with Mila Jovovich's hair in that poster, but whatever.
A group of very different people in a hotel in Los Angeles, including the romantically involved Tom Tom and Eloise. The events that unfold are the result of the death of an important resident, the son of a billionaire media mogul. His father commissions an FBI agent to look into his death. Sounds like a Knives Out sort of thing.
Jeremy Davies.
Upham. I wish Upham had the balls.
He's Smitty from It's Kind of a Funny Story.
He's shitty from It's Kind of a Funny Story.
All right, we can fucking move on.
Yeah, but we have 2002. This is when things...
Pretty good year.
Yeah, pretty good year. Gibson has said that he started drinking at the age of 13. In a 2002 interview about his time in NIDA, Gibson said, I had really good highs, but some very low lows. I found out recently I'm manic depressive.
Wow.
Not good, Mel. Not good. We also glided over the fact that Gibson was banned from driving in Ontario, Canada for 3 months in 1984 after rear-ending a car in Toronto while under the influence of alcohol. He retreated to his Australian farm for over a year to recover, but he continued to struggle with drinking. Despite this problem, Gibson gained a reputation in Hollywood for professionalism and punctuality, such that frequent collaborator Richard Donner was shocked when Gibson confided that he was drinking 5 pints of beer for breakfast.
Holy shit.
Oh, baby, what you doing?
Man.
Yeah, 2002 that's a good year. He came out with We Were Soldiers.
I like that movie.
I do too. I like when the guy's leg skin peels off.
That is a gnarly scene, man. Some good
It's
old napalm.
It's pretty horrific. But it was directed by the guy that wrote Braveheart, so they got together again for We Were Soldiers. Pretty solid movie. I will say that there's a really goddamn annoying scene in this movie where it's all the wives are talking, and
You just don't like women.
no, listen to this. One of the wives is talking about the laundry room and how it says, "Oh, I put all my coloreds in the colored laundry room on the colored washing machine," and they all just like look at her like she's stupid. And the black lady comes out and she says, "Honey, they make colored people."
Oh, God.
It like makes my skin crawl just thinking about it.
Yeah, it sounds awful. I don't remember it.
The chick is like so stupid she doesn't realize that racism's going on, segregation's going on.
Yeah, like she has no clue what's happening.
Yeah. Pretty good cast, though. Greg Kinnear, Sam Elliott, Chris Klein,
Oh,
Kerry
fuck.
Russell, Barry
Forgot
Pepper.
about Chris Klein. Barry
John
Pepper.
John,
Got to watch this today.
what's your Barry Pepper movie?
61, baby.
Oh,
Roger
okay.
Maris.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Oh, fuck. It's so good.
Directed by Billy Crystal? No thanks.
No, don't be fooled.
Oh, who's fooled?
It's a good movie.
I like the movie he did a couple years ago called Crawl. It's
Yeah,
like
a good alligator movie.
Yeah, it's just like a B schlock movie that
Oh.
was really enjoyable. But yeah,
Wasn't bad.
yeah, We Were Soldiers. But the bigger one in 2002, the M. Night Shyamalan classic.
The Rory Culkin classic.
The Joaquin Phoenix classic. Signs.
Saw this in the theater the day it came out.
Man, how disturbing was it?
Pretty disturbing, and particularly that birthday party scene.
I mean, that goes down as maybe... that goes down as maybe one of the scenes that still scares me the most to this day. I mean, you know, not realistically, I'm not sitting there covering my eyes, but like it's one of the
Right.
most disturbing scenes.
Well, it's pretty jarring when you watch that movie for the first time.
It's pretty.
It's like, whoa.
I remember watching the movie for the first time in the daytime. I think I got the DVD. I think I used up a lot of my money to buy it, watching
Yeah.
that scene, and it still horrified me.
There's just something about it. Like, aren't the kids like speaking Spanish or something? Or they
I think it's in
Brazilian?
Brazil. They're in
Yeah.
Brazil.
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Yeah, we know about culture here.
I wanted to stop you before you said they were speaking Brazilian.
Don't worry, I'm not the idiot.
Thank God.
I was thinking the same thing about you though.
They're speaking Brazilian in that scene. No, it is scary. Something about just the fact that it's like foreign. I don't know. It's creepy.
Yeah, it is. I think Mel is really good at this. He's got a really vulnerable performance because he loses his wife. He leaves the church. Everybody wants him to come back, but he's like, you know, God failed me,
Yeah.
so how can I come back?
Right.
Unfortunately, he does go back at the end, but
Love that
he
scene when his wife's
sighs.
impaled.
Oh yeah, great scene. I love the scene from one of the scary movies where they're spoofing it, and the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that plays M. Night Shyamalan's character, he's like, "Hey Graham, I'll need a ride home."
That's funny. If you go back and watch that birthday party scene now, it's very CGI doesn't hold up.
Yeah, but fuck, I love this movie. One of my favorites.
It is really good.
Great music once again. James Newton Howard and M. Night together do some really good music.
I like how it's a very slow burn too. You don't really,
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's talk about that real quick. It is a slow burn. I love how you only see parts of the aliens.
Yeah.
For the most part. I love the part where they're running around the house and you don't even see the aliens at all. You just see you see them looking at it.
Right.
And just like the disbelief on Joaquin's face when it's on the roof, he's like, how did he get up there? And
Yeah.
they're just like in shock. But then at the end, we do see the aliens. What are your thoughts on seeing the aliens?
It's an interesting approach to it. I like how he shoots that gas or whatever from his arm or his
Right.
wrist.
The poison, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the movie a lot.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of the CGI?
I mean, yeah, it's fucking 20 years old now, you know?
Yeah, I like the model of the alien. That's how
Yeah,
I would
it
think
looks
of
cool.
aliens.
But yeah, I
But-
mean, it's a little dated.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what happens with the computer shit, you know? That's why practical effects are awesome because a lot of times they hold up.
Yeah. I love the movie. It's one of my favorite Mel movies. Well, it is my favorite M. Night movie. And
Yeah.
But 2 years later, we got Mel back again to direct The Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ.
I like this movie actually.
So do I. I've only seen it once. I mean,
Primarily-
it's literally like a one-time watch sort of thing.
It's a tough watch. The film primarily covers the final 12 hours before Jesus Christ's death, consisting of the Passion, hence the title of the film. It begins with the agony in the garden, and continues with the betrayal, the brutal scourging of the pillar. You know, all the stuff that's in the Bible.
Yeah,
This was really controversial when it came out
it was.
for a lot of reasons. The historical accuracy, the anti-Semitism that was perceived of it,
Right.
excessive violence. I know that Jim Caviezel came out and just talked about how brutal his experience making it was. I think he broke some bone in his body because of the cross. He got
Shit.
hit by lightning. A lot of different things happened during the making of this movie, but I've not seen it in quite a while. But I do enjoy it quite a bit. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's really well done. I mean, it's to make a big budget film like with that subject matter. It's interesting, you know.
It is, yeah. And for a long time, it was the highest grossing R-rated movie ever. I think Deadpool or one of those beat it out. It made $612 million.
Yeah. And he's doing a sequel to that, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to reprise the role of Jesus. And in September 2020, Gibson sent him the third draft of the screenplay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to check that out. Bible's one of the great fictional tales of our world.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I don't know.
But this must have been kind of around the time where things got off the rails because he's not doing a lot of acting. Actually, he's not doing any acting. He's doing a cameo in 2004 as well, and then 2006 he directs again, Apocalypto. And around 2006 when he makes this movie is when things like really go off the rails.
Yeah, these were the dark days.
On July 28, 2006, Gibson was arrested by Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department for driving under the influence while speeding in his vehicle with an open container of alcohol. According to a 2011 article in Vanity Fair, Gibson first told the arresting officer, "My life is over. I'm fucked. Robin's going to leave me." According to the arresting report, Gibson exploded into an angry tirade when the arresting officer would not allow him to drive home. Gibson climaxed with the words, "Fucking Jews. The Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world. Are you a Jew?"
Shit.
And then also, in August of 2006, Gibson pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor of drunken driving charge and was sentenced to 3 years probation. He was ordered to attend self-help meetings 5 times a week for 4.5 months and 3 times a week for the remainder of the first year of his probation.
And that was a big, I remember when that happened. That was a big deal, man. It was a big, a topic of conversation for many weeks, you know?
Yeah, he was one of the great actors, now turned directors.
Yeah. It was a horrible look for him.
It was, and it kind of got him blacklisted for, 2006, probably about 10 years, yeah. But he did direct Apocalypto, which is pretty good. Not one of my favorites of his that he's directed.
I haven't even seen it.
It's all the ethnic tribes and peoples depicted in the film were Mayan. Yeah, I don't know. It's about Mayan. The hero's journey of a young man named Jaguar Paul and his fellow tribesmen who are captured by an invading force. It's just like, apocalyptic movie about the Mayans. Right. It's fine. It's a little slow. Not one of his better works, so we don't have to talk too much about it. But because there wasn't really any controversy or anything to this one either. It made a decent amount of money, and people kind of moved on from it. It wasn't a big deal. And then 2006, that came out. He didn't act again until 2010 when he came out with Edge of Darkness. But in July 2010, this is I think what most people know about as far as the Gibson controversies. In July 2010, Gibson had been recorded during a phone call with Oksana Grigorieva, suggesting that if she got raped by a pack of N-words, she would be to blame.
Yeah, that's bad.
Gibson was barred from coming near Grigorieva or their daughter due to a domestic violence-related restraining order. The L.A. County Sheriff's Department launched a domestic violence investigation against Gibson, later dropped when Gibson pleaded no contest.
Right.
That wasn't a good one.
It wasn't. I mean, people say all sorts of shit that you don't know about, I mean, it's...
Yeah, and it's no excuse, but the guy's an alcoholic that struggled. It's tough, alcohol addiction. It really fucks up a lot of things.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. It's horrible. No defending that, but like you said, when you're boozed up all the time, I mean, that fucks your head up for sure.
It does.
I have a hard, I don't know. Who knows? You don't know Mel personally. It's as an outsider, it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm. But that same year, like I said, 2010, Edge of Darkness. But the next year in 2011 is when things started to change for him. He was in Jodie Foster's The Beaver.
The movie kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's not great. I like his performance in it. He's like a depressed executive who hits
he
rock
was
bottom
fine.
when his wife kicks him out of the house. I don't know. It seemed very personal to him, I guess.
It was an interesting film, not generic or anything.
No, it has Anton Yelchin and Jennifer Lawrence too, which
I forgot they were even in it.
yeah, I think one of them plays his kid.
Yeah.
Something like that. I would watch it again, mostly because of him. If it wasn't him, I don't know if I would.
Wow. Jody made a film called The Beaver. Shocking.
Wow. But that's when things started getting back on the rails for him, because he started to get jobs. Let me get back to it here. So 2011 he did The Beaver. 2012 he was in Get the Gringo, which is
It's fine.
okay. It's all right, but he's trying to get some work again, work his way back up. 2013 he was in Machete Kills as the villain. Have you seen this?
I haven't seen Machete Kills. I like Machete, but like they're stupid,
They are stupid. I think
Yeah.
that's the point.
Yeah, you just gotta know what you're getting into.
Yeah, I would watch that for him. 2014 he starts teaming up with all the other 80s action stars in The Expendables 3.
I don't like The Expendables. I watched the first one. It was just stupid, I thought.
I like the concept of getting all these old action stars together,
Yeah, me too.
but they end up becoming like really generic action movies.
It's like cool concept, poor execution.
Yeah. And then he's in. So that's 2014. 2016 is when things really change again. He's in Bloodfather, which I enjoy.
I like Bloodfather.
Yeah, Bloodfather's good. But that same year, he directed. Oh, hold on. Let me unzip real quick.
Oh,
Hacksaw Ridge.
Desmond.
We're gonna get you out of here.
Desmond.
Fuck, dude.
That's a great movie.
Ah.
I'm kind of sad because Andrew Garfield has never really taken off like I thought he should have.
Well, there's like this weird Oscar curse where if you win or you're nominated, your career just kind of it's never the same. Like it seems like he's a victim of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if people don't want to work with him or he's taking a break or
I don't know. I mean, he's in movies. Like Breathe was a solid movie. Under the Silver Lake was pretty good, but he just never got that. I mean, I think he's
great.
he's great. He's like one of my favorite, current actors, but it just never has really happened for him.
He was in something in 2020 called Mainstream.
Yeah, Gia Coppola.
Yeah, which haven't heard anything about. But before that, like it was Hacksaw Ridge, Silence, Breathe, Under the Silver Lake. That's a good little run of movies.
Dude, I want to watch that. Mainstream. Andrew Garfield, Maya Hawke, Nat Wolff, Johnny Knoxville, and Jason Schwartzman.
Weird. It doesn't say what it's about though.
I like Ethan.
Oh my god! But Hacksaw Ridge, one of the few movies I've slapped a 5 on immediately when I
Me
watched
too.
it.
Walked out of the Davenport Theater, dropped that 5-star on it. In a
It's-
unforgettable movie experience with the old man next to me standing up and saluting the screen at the end.
I've heard about that one a few times.
Yep.
It's a incredible movie. After rewatching it so many times, there's some cheesiness to it, but I think that it gets you involved with the character, like you care about him because he's a good dude.
I don't think it's that cheesy.
There's some dialogue that,
I guess. I don't know.
like, especially between him and Teresa Palmer.
Yeah, I guess that part, but that doesn't bother me.
I need my blood back. Give me my blood back. Because ever since I saw you yesterday, my heart's been skipping.
Well, now that you mention it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna drop it down anytime soon, but
I want my blood back.
I've definitely questioned some things in the movie. I love it though.
It's fantastic.
Great war scenes. Some like we said earlier with Braveheart and cutting out scenes. There's some really gnarly shit in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
But
And like the format of Full Metal Jacket, it's, kind of like a 2-part film.
almost 3.
Almost 3, yeah. First is
Yeah.
like him growing
His
up
life,
and him with
yeah.
what's her face, and then second part's boot camp, and then third part's combat.
Yeah, but the boot camp and then the combat, that feels very...
Yeah.
If he said he was inspired by Full Metal Jacket, you'd believe it.
Oh, for sure. And it's Vince Vaughn's second best performance after Rudy.
What? Oh, my God.
Quarterback and Rudy.
Shut up about that movie.
Rudy.
But this movie, like we keep saying, it got him back on the map. The film was nominated for 6 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and a few others. It won a couple, like Best Sound Editing and Mixing.
It's a great one.
Put him back on the map. Mel is back, and then he did Daddy's Home 2 the next year.
We don't need to talk about that one.
We don't.
It's kind of weird for him to be in that, though.
It
out
is.
Out of character a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I'm not going to say I wouldn't watch it because he's in it, but I haven't yet, so...
Yeah, I mean, it ain't...
I'm not running out.
Yeah, if I got free time, it's not going towards that.
But then the next year, 2018, Dragged Across Concrete. I can't wait for you to check this one out and see what...
I've got the blue.
What you think. It's about... he's a police detective with Vince Vaughn.
Ooh.
And it's very pulpy. Like, it feels like a 70s movie in that way. Violent. There's some more gnarly stuff in this movie. There's like an extended climax. They're like trying to... They're stuck inside this van, and people are trying to... It's really interesting. I recommend anybody check it out if you're into Mel or Vince, or even Craig as Zoller. His stuff has a certain style. Bloody, pulpy, cheesy dialogue. I don't know.
The runtime's a little long for that type of movie.
Yeah, but... it is. It is. Well, wake up on a Sunday morning and, it'll be over before you can get your morning coffee.
Oh, interesting. I'll give it a whirl.
Jennifer Carpenter's in it, too.
I like John, but Jennifer's okay.
I like men, but
Jennifer's okay.
And then he had a few other things come out the past couple years. The Professor and the Madman, which I would check out. Seems kind of boring. Force of Nature, and then Fat Man last year.
I wanted to watch Fat Man, but I just never did yet.
It's pretty decent. He's playing... It's a... bless you.
Thank you.
It's an unorthodox Santa Claus movie. Santa Claus, and... Yeah, I'm curious what he would have thought making this movie, since Mrs. Claus is black.
Is she?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty... I don't know. It's nothing special, but it was a unique little spin on Santa Claus. It's like this douchey little kid hires a hitman to go kill Santa Claus because he didn't get a present he wanted.
Interesting concept. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. But he does have a few things coming out over the next few years. He's got something called Boss Battle, or Boss Level.
God.
Stars Frank Grillo as a retired special forces soldier who tries to escape a never-ending time loop that results in his death. Okay.
Oh, Naomi Watts.
Ooh, Naomi Twats.
It's Naomi's I'm on backwards.
Michelle Yeoh. Oh.
Yeah.
He's got another one coming out called Last Looks. Something called Dangerous.
It's cool to me that Mel's still working, and he's still, he's pushed through his controversy. I think in regards to what he did and some of the stuff that he said, it's horrible, but I think everybody deserves a second chance in a scenario like that. It's not like he raped anybody or anything.
Right.
No excuse, but, he seems to have cleaned himself up, at least in the public eye.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because back when he was blacklisted, one of the people that really tried to defend him was Robert Downey Jr., another guy that obviously got a second chance and really made the most of it. But he came out before anybody, and just said, people make mistakes. I know the guy. I know the real guy and who he is. And
right. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people in their personal lives have probably been guilty of doing something stupid or saying something stupid, and
of course,
his just happened to be recorded. It's like I said, it's no excuse. if you're a high-profile person like that, you should really be careful. But deserves a second chance, and he's gotten one, and he's doing okay so far.
Yeah, safe to say that his best years are behind him, but I'll be happy to check out mostly whatever Mel does.
Yeah.
Years.
I'm a Mel fan.
I am too.
This is a comprehensive 2-hour retrospective on Mel.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Mel, people?
What is your favorite Mel film? Don't bother if it's The Beaver.
What is your favorite?
Oh, God, Hacksaw Ridge. The best thing Mel's done, in my opinion, is Hacksaw Ridge, but, now I'm a big fan of Braveheart, so I don't... But I love Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
In terms of stuff he's been in, Man Without a Face.
Okay.
But Braveheart will probably take that over.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, anything else about Melly Mel?
I don't think so. I think we've done it.
Let us know who you'd like to see us do future retrospective episodes on. We haven't done one of these in a while. There's tons of names out there we could cover, so leave us your suggestions. Give the podcast a nice review on iTunes if you want. That'd be great. Check out the YouTube channel, Slacker Media on YouTube. Subscribe. Got good stuff coming out over there. Any closing words?
I love you, Mel.
I love you, Mel. That's episode 154 of the Cinema Scumbags podcast. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, go fuck yourselves.